Aloha kako, mahalo for joining us today. We will begin with a pule by Commissioner Walter Kaniakua.
Epuli Kako. Our dear Heavenly Father, this has been a full day, and we rejoice in the day that you've made. So thank you. We are glad in it. We ask that you would bless these proceedings, bless the people that are here, those that could not make it, and those that we represent who are far, far away many times. Mahalo for our kupuna who set the stage that we might be here. So bless us all, Lord, our communities, our families, the friends, our work. These things we ask in your name and give you thanks. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, the Hawaiian Homes Commission is called to order. Today's meeting is being held virtually on Zoom and in person at the Lanai High and Elementary School Cafeteria, Lanai City, Lanai. Kali Watson, Chairman of the Commission. Today's date is Saturday, November 1st, 2025. The time is 1:03. Leo, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Freitas is excused. Commissioner Kalekini
Aye.
by Zoom. Commissioner Kalepa is excused. Commissioner Kaniakua.
Aye.
Commissioner Lasua.
Aye.
Commissioner Marfield is excused. Commissioner Muo is excused. Commissioner Ornelas. And Chair Watson.
Here.
We have 5 members present. We have a quorum.
Okay, we'll take care of the approval of the agenda, but for this meeting, the agenda is a little different. We're starting with department updates and public testimony will follow. Public testimony sheets can be found at the back. Please see our staff. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion carried. Okay, the first agenda item is G1, the status update on Lanai project plan update. Nancy McPherson, planner.
Aloha Kakao Commissioners, Nancy McPherson, staff planner, DHHO Planning Office. And for our beneficiaries, there are a few handouts of the PowerPoint, and these will all be posted to the DHHO website as well. Next slide. Okay. Okay, it's a real privilege to be here on Lanai. So we're giving you an update today on beneficiaries, lands, plans, and planning projects. Next slide, please. So we have a wait list of 70. We had a bunch of project leases happening this morning. So that's going to move from applications to lessees, which is really exciting. And so right now we do have 45 existing lessees. All the leases in phase 1 and 2A have been issued. All those lots have lessees now. Next slide. So we have the smallest, back one. We have the smallest amount of Hawaiian homelands on this island. We only have 50 acres right now. That's less than 1% of the land area. But it's a beautiful island, and our lands are in an ideal location right at the edge of Lanai City. Next slide, please. This is our DHHO planning system. We have updated our general plan in 2022. Lanai is unique because we don't have at least 100 acres on this island. We don't have an island plan yet for Lanai. Hopefully someday we will. And so that means we only have a regional plan for the island. Next slide. That plan was approved by the commission in 2010. And we are hoping to update it in the next couple of years as our Lanai residential lots get built out. And a number of you participated in that regional plan in 2010, so mahalo for doing that. Next slide, please. So what we do is we update the regional plan priority project implementation. Sorry, this is small type. It's kind of hard to read. But we do have, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6 priority projects. And one of them was alternative energy. So I think that is still to be worked on with Pulama Lanai as the homestead area is developed. We have awarded the remaining lots at this point. 16 were awarded recently. And Hawaii Community Lending will be helping families with financing plans and working with the contractor all the way through to completion of their homes. Establishing a Hawaiian Homestead Community Association. This is an important project. It was tried in the past and kind of maybe we just didn't have enough lessees yet. So now that we're getting more lessees, we'd like to resume working with your community to form a Hawaiian Homestead Community Association. That would make you eligible for DHHL grants, among other things. So the planning office is going to be working with the community here to prepare for forming a homestead association in the next year or two. Then interim use and management of vacant and undeveloped lands. Well, that's going to be changing soon because those lands are going to be developed. But in the meantime, there has been interim use of those lands. And but as the master planning process is moving forward, there will, have to be notice given as the department gets ready to get subdivision approval and start site work on Phase 2B, which is a very exciting time for the island. We also installing speed control mechanism along Komoku and 5th Streets. I believe there was a speed table installed, but we have heard comments that if 5th Street is to be extended down to where the, Phase 2B and the county affordable housing project is going in, that we need to consider looking at traffic, slowing traffic down along 5th. So we're going to look into that during the master planning process. Okay, next slide. So another priority project was exploring the land acquisition. This is still in the works. We have gotten subdivision approval of the 10 acres at the juncture of Kamalapau and Manele Road, and also the 15 acres out by the airport. And I believe that is in the process of being recorded with the Bureau of Conveyances. We're going to be initiating discussions with Pulama Lanai about transfer of those lands into the inventory. And so that will open up commercial and industrial opportunities for our beneficiaries. As you can see by the pie chart, there is not that much diversity of economy here, and you all know that better than we do, that, additional opportunities for areas and companies that aren't just owned by one entity would be really beneficial for economic development and financial stability for our beneficiaries. So we're going to keep working on that. Next slide. Okay, so next steps, as folks heard this morning, and you're going to hear next from Land Development Division, we are moving forward with Phase 2B. There's going to be residential lots, community use, a detention basin, and then work on cost sharing for infrastructure. And then for planning, we are going to be doing regular outreach to our beneficiaries here on Lanai to form a Hawaiian Homestead Association. And then we are once things are a little bit further along, we are going to start working toward the Lanai Regional Plan update. And that is it for the planning office. Mahalo.
Thank you. Lana. Okay, the next agenda item is E1 Lanai Projects Update, Kalani Fronda. Just for information.
Aloha Chair Watson and fellow commissioners. For the record, Kalani Fronda, Acting Administrator with the Land Development Division. This is a culmination of what we shared this morning with the project lessees and the awards event that we had, as well as what we had presented in Maui at the Maui Commission. Next slide, please. So we're going to go over in this next hour. No, I'm just kidding. In these next minutes on just the mission and urgency, approach and partnerships, results and impacts and opportunity. And one of the big things I just want to emphasize here, next slide, is that it really takes a village for us to move forward in the mission that we are tasked with. Next slide. What's shown here is the urgency of DHHL housing. We do have, as many know, 29,000 on the wait list and roughly about 600 new applicants each year. And so there really is a motivation and a big push. And personally, it's a big push. I think I'm 29,001 because I just put my name on the list recently. So I'm quite motivated to move these projects along as well. We do face different barriers, and some of it is related to construction. We have some labor, the cost of labor, the cost of being able to find those that are equipped to assist us in these different areas, also the permitting process, the cost with the tariffs that we're facing, as well as the cost of materials. So it's been difficult to navigate that. We also have kupuna that are passing and keiki that are leaving to the continent. Next slide, please. Just a reminder of why we do what we do. I appreciate everything that Prince Kuhio had envisioned for the Lahui, and it wasn't intended for the 50%. It was intended for the entire Lahui. Unfortunately, there was voices that spoke against it, and we are now left with U.S. Congress Homestead Act, which says 50% or nothing at all, and we went with the 50%. And so we're moving forward on that access to being able to connect our beneficiaries with the AINA. Next slide, please. And what happens when we move forward on our projects? What it does is it opens up and eases the pressure of rentals coming available in the rental market, allowing for affordable housing to be opened up as well with various agencies and different developers working to be able to accomplish that. So we are doing many different things. I'm going to share with you options of what we're doing to look at homes that can be affordable as well as rental opportunities. And next slide, please. So our approaches and partnerships. Next. We have, over the past 100 years, issued out about 10,000 leases, which is equivalent to about 100 leases per year. We're tasked by the end of 2026 to issue out about 7,000 leases. So we have a lot of work to be done. And fortunately, we have different types of monies that support us. Some of it supports the department from our commercial proceeds. We also have monies that come from various governmental agencies. Next slide. We are also tasked with having to create infrastructure from raw lands and being able to provide that infrastructure. So our monies come from state appropriations, federal grants, tax credits, private capital. And when one area is not coming through, we look at another area and another source and another source. I want to stop and say and pause and say mahalo to the county of Maui for really working hard on that. The county council, and I thank also Council Member Gabe Johnson, who had joined us this morning, and his colleagues, in putting together a bill that helped us be able to build up revenue from the GET set aside. So we've accrued roughly about 22 million to date. And when this program sunsets in 2030, we would have accrued about 90 million. And these monies are going spread throughout the county for the purpose of Hawaiian homelands projects. We're looking at shared infrastructure so we can be able to work with the county on different infrastructure that's required. A very good example is right here on the island of Lanai, where they have a project in addressing the affordable housing, as well as our 2B, which Nancy had gone over, right next to it. And it just makes sense that we go in on and do shared infrastructure on this area. We're also going in, and I'll share with you shortly after, on another approach that we're working collectively with the county. Next slide, please. We're tasked with site infrastructure. And I shared that it's everything from roads to sewers to water systems, et cetera. And really finding ways so our beneficiaries will benefit from this, and knowing that all of these will require this type of infrastructure. So we've leveraged a couple of years ago, Act 279. We should be, as I shared with the commission at the Maui Commission meeting, that by the end of December 31st, 2025, all of the Act 279 600 million will have been encumbered. We've spent so far about 120 million towards 28 projects all throughout the Pai'aina. We also have a consistent flow of monies that comes from U.S. Department of Ag, and these monies go mostly towards water projects. And next slide, please. So we're tasked with not only identifying the land site infrastructure, we also work with private developers. Now, with the 600 million, it unlocks additional funds to be leveraged so we can actually get our beneficiaries in houses. So with the 600 million, there's about 2 billion that's coming from the developers. So vertical infrastructure, vertical development can be built. Next slide, please. We're also taking a look at many different options of how to build our houses, making sure that it is quality, that it is fire resistant according to the standards, especially with what had occurred a couple of years ago. And so this is one of the areas that we're looking at, is taking a look at 3D printed homes. We're looking at panelizations, prefabricated homes, on-site prefabrication, as well as modular construction. Of course, this also requires a lot of discussion and hand-holding and working together in conjunction with the unions to be able to address the different trades that are required in the building of our homes. And once again, the purpose of the exploration is we want to find different ways to deliver it, being able to reduce construction time. We were able to visit an area that does this, and it's basically stick build in a very controlled environment. They move very quickly, roughly about 40 houses per month. And so it reduces the construction time. It's more efficient, lower project costs, enhancing the building quality, et cetera. We are trying to look at exploring ways that we can bring that home to Hawaii and be able to do the same thing that we had experienced and seen on the continent and bringing it here, and working with the unions to be able to deliver a much more cost-effective product for our beneficiaries. Next slide, please. Benefits I had shared with you already, faster build times, lower construction costs, safer work environment, supports local jobs and industry, improve quality and consistency, etc. A lot of these are a lot of words, a lot of pictures. It's something also then providing information for our beneficiaries because of this presentation will be posted on our website. Next slide, please. One of the factory tours that we took was in Colorado. It's called Fading West. They're one of the manufacturers that provided products for the recovery in Lahaina, in which FEMA had worked with to be able to deliver those homes there. Next slide. These are exterior designs of houses, some of it single family, some of it multifamily, that they have built in Colorado as well as across the continent. Next slide, please. Picture of their interior design. Pretty amazing on when they create these boxes, they're able to build it and then connect it on site, and everything's ready to go, stepping in, and you're able to use it fairly shortly after that. Today was an example of one of the new approaches that we're taking, and these are called project leases, very similar to what we had delivered before, undivided interest leases. This really provides our beneficiaries a couple of opportunities. One is being able to pass it on to a 25% successor quickly. And so they can have, our successors can have an opportunity to utilize our 50% blood quantum to be connected with the land, get into a place that they can afford. Our approach has been also a little different in that we are looking at, and I'm going to move to the next slide, and I'll go into detail on some of these. So what we do once our project leases are awarded, we team up with service providers such as Hawaii Community Assets, as well as Helen Y. And we've also had the Honolulu Board of Realtors provide one of their service providers so that we can benefit from this service. So they financially assess what our beneficiaries can afford. And at that point, they work with them on finding what they can afford and be able to occupy. They also go through financial literacy and home buyer preparation to not only repair your credit if it's kind of going through some issues, but also preparing you on how to buy a house. And then what the developers do, unlike what we're slowly kind of phasing out of, was before we built it, and then you got to try to qualify, your beneficiaries got to qualify to get in. The change is we're taking what they can afford and we're building it according to what they can afford. Very different approach. And we appreciate the vision of Chair Watson on really pushing this because it really is able to address our wait list and working with what the financial means that they're dealing with. So the developers take that, they shape their capital stack, shape how they develop their vertical development based upon that financial assessment. So in the case of Lanai, we are working fast and furious with them because if some of them can qualify for a low-income housing tax credit, there is a deadline that's coming up in February. So that project is going to be submitted jointly with the county because we're able to provide more opportunities to bring that to the island. Next slide. The options that we are providing and creating different pathways of choice for our beneficiaries is rent with option to purchase. Huge difference in this one is that you're not just renting for 15 years. We're actually going to give you a lease. It's separated from the vertical itself. And so now you get a lease that you could pass on to your successor. Of course, there's some conditions on that, but you can pass it on to your successor in case something happens. But you can enjoy the benefits of the rent with option to purchase vertical that's built there. In Kona, you know, it's some of the testimonies that we hear from their beneficiaries. Some of them lived in an apartment. 5 of them lived in an apartment, and Fortunately, they were able to qualify for a 4-bedroom, and now their family can get a place that they can live in with bedrooms, a single family house, and also be able to get a homestead lease. Great opportunities for them. We also have turnkey homes, which we've historically have done before, self-help housing, which we partner up with organizations, 501c3s like Habitat for Humanity, and then owner builder lot, which some people resort to. Sometimes it's not as easy because the construction loans require 20% down payment, and that's a lot of money. And some of them don't realize what they're going through. However, I pause here and say that was one of the hurdles that the 16 lessees that received these awards here on Lanai was going through. So we're doing something a little different. We're partnering up with Hawaii Community Lending, and they're going to be able to walk them through the process of finding out what can they afford, what kind of loans can they qualify for, what kind of house can be built, team them up with a contractor, all the way to the point that they're occupying it. Because resources are low on Lanai, we are partnering up with the developer that's going to build 2B in the county, and their contractors will work with Hawaii Community Lending so that the houses for the 16 lessees can be built. Next slide, please. Results and impacts. Next slide. So as I mentioned, we have 7,000 leases that we need to issue out by the end of 2026. Unbelievably, that with the 600 million that we had received, this unlocks a whole bunch of monies that come from developer financing. So about $2 billion worth come from developer financing to build the vertical development, because the monies that we get from the state appropriations are only for infrastructure. It's not for the vertical development. So developers are bringing that to the table so our beneficiaries can be able to occupy something, and something that's quality. We're walking through with them on pairing them up with the service providers, as I shared with you. And then we also have loans that are out there, various types of loans, which total roughly about $1 billion. Next slide, please. Sorry, can you go back real quick? So I just want to stay here and just mention something very quickly, and that is, what is it? I can't remember now. Anyways, okay, moving on. Some of the results of us exploring different types of ways to build, next slide, please, is I shared with you benefits of modular construction. Still a lot of stuff that we need on LOMI, explore, talk story with the unions, talk story with the different trades, come to an agreement of how can we make this more efficient, more affordable, quality, and providing jobs. Interesting thing is, for every $1 million that we spend, it creates roughly about 6.3 jobs. It also unlocks, for every dollar that we spend, it unlocks about $6 worth of private funding. Next slide, please. Impact, shared with you, or exploring how do you build local, empower local, working with the unions to create union jobs. As we've been talking with some of the trades in Maui, there's not enough on the bench to provide the type of workforce that they need for all of the work that's being done on that island. So having that conversation early on really is important for us as well as for them. Benefits to the community, supporting local business, faster project leads, etc. Next slide, please. Just listing out what's the benefits of us working with the union. Next slide, please. So this results, as we take a look at our land holdings, not everything is really equipped to develop homesteading or homestead residential. And so we're looking at other areas that already have infrastructure, but it takes monies. And so one of the ways that we're activating that is monetizing our affordable housing credits. We have roughly about 2,300, and having those conversations with the counties on how we can monetize that really makes a big difference. We're also looking at counties such as Maui County, where they are providing that set aside GET set aside tax. We are also having conversations with them about exchanging of lands that make sense for us to do homesteading, residential homesteading, building communities on, compared to some of the stuff that they have projected. Example is in Sitting County of Honolulu that identified some areas in Windward, Oahu, and Kailua on which would be great for us to create homesteads there. We also looked at in Kona, having early conversations with Hawaii County, an area that they projected for regional park. It's not flatlands, but it creates a beautiful vista right below where we already have our homestead called Laiopua, and right across the street from the Civic Center. And so it really makes sense for us to work on exchanges, very strategic exchanges like that, having conversations with other state agencies to resolve the Act 14, which was really resolving lands and that was owed back to the department, and then also having early conversations regarding exchange of federal lands as well. Next slide, please. There's a lot of slides on here. I'm gonna kind of flow through them, but feel free to go back and take a look at the details of these. A lot of it is what we had shared today. Next slide. And I want to start with, next slide, please. Oh. This was one of the next several slides are slides that were discussed with during the beneficiary consultation on phase 2B. Next slide, please. There are some alternatives that they're considering, and one of them, next slide, please, was looking at this relationship to the current homestead area of 2A, and then the area of where the county is building out. Next slide, please. Also, options was flipping the community use area to the other side, totaling roughly about 5 acres. And I believe there's another option that was right before that one. No, no. Okay. Next 2 slides. Going forward, please. One more. Thank you. So let me jump to the next slide. Very quick picture of the work that we're doing in Maui County. Don't really want to go too into detail on this, but just providing you that there's roughly about 12 projects that are being developed in Maui County. Next, on November 8th, is going to be the beginning of one of 2 parts in which we will be issuing roughly about 1,100 leases and 1,100 project leases to move forward the 4 projects that are out there, residential projects that are on the island of Maui, covering West Maui, Central, couple in Central Maui, and then one in South Maui. What this list doesn't show you is there's still work that's being done in places like Upcountry, as well as in Honokawai and other places in Pulehunui that we've started. We haven't finished, and we're still have our sights on that and still working with a combination of various agencies to be able to build out the infrastructure in those areas. Next slide, please. This is a picture of Ikaika Ohana had built in Laiopua and it's the same type of model that we're going to be building here. Next slide, please. This is the companies that they work with, that the developer owns, and the property management company is because of the rent with option to purchase LIHTC development would require for 15 years a property manager to manage those areas. And once again, even though you are a tenant in that area, you will still have a project lease or homestead lease for that 15 years. So very different on what we had done in earlier administrations and something different that we are doing now to really take care of our beneficiaries and the generations to come. Next slide, please. These are the different projects that the developer had worked on. Most of it in Maui. They have some in Hawaii Island. They've also worked on the island of Oahu with various county and state agencies. They just did one recently in restoring what was burnt down in affordable housing in Lahaina and another new area that they just developed to really support local families getting into the area in which they live in. Next slide, please. This is just a very quick example of what the county is doing and what we're doing. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is a couple of examples of the exterior models. Next slide. That we will be building with Ikaika Ohana. Next slide. These are the interior pictures. Next. Stop right here. It's a broad, it's a snapshot of what to anticipate and what's coming up as far as infrastructure, permits, and when we actually can start work on vertical construction, roughly mid 2027. Hope is roughly around 2028 at the latest. So a lot of work to be done, a lot of work with combination of the county project. And so one thing I mentioned was looking at, Ikaika Ohana utilizing both opportunities of county lands and Hawaiian homelands and submitting a project together for LIHTC funding. Next slide, please. Just wanted to show you the interior one more time. And that is the completion of our updates for what's happening in Land Development Division. Mahalo.
Thank you, Kalani. Let me make a few comments. Today I guess we did a lot of awards, relatively speaking. But one of the things that became very, very apparent was the fact that for a lot of the people on the wait list, we don't have current information. So we made efforts to try and locate them as well as get more current information. One of the things we don't want to do is to, miss the opportunity to offer them a homestead and in a timely fashion where while we're doing this construction, we're doing it at a level where based on the economy of scales, the cost is a lot less than if they were maybe to do it by themselves. And so, not only for Lanai, and especially if you have friends or know of the people that are on the wait list that did not participate today, the fact that we have these extra lots, including I think there's 18 in phase 1, that also we're trying to move forward and help these families actually get a house. Because without the house, it's really kind of a wasted situation. And, more importantly, it creates or there's a missed opportunity that might impact this family for generations. So we don't want to do that. We want to try and we need your help, especially if you know some of these families. And from what I'm hearing, a lot of you, in fact, almost all of you are related. So you must have some kind of information as to the whereabouts of those that were not here, and that if you can, I would ask you to either contact them or give us information and or whatever information you have that we can use to not only get a hold of them, but more importantly, in a timely fashion. Because this missed opportunity, there's so many missed opportunities for this whole program. The people have died waiting, and so now's the time. Now's the time to really, for the department, including you folks, and I view that as part of your kuleana regarding your ohana, to get out there and make the effort and make a couple calls, go track them down, and then ask them, hey, what's up? Are you interested in coming back to Hawaii, or if you're on a different island, you want to come here? Or did you hear about all these different projects? We got quite a few on Maui, over 1,100. We've been doing the Puahona, the Wailuku, Kamalani, Waihu Mauka, Hona Kauai, which is kind of a different approach, right? It's a subsistence ag lot where we give them a bigger lot, actually, bigger than a residential, but they have the opportunity to grow food as well as raise livestock to support themselves, especially in today's times where cost of food and, is outrageous. So what better way to become reliant on yourself and when the subsistence approach. So, I really also, when we look at the this particular project that we're doing here on the Lanai, uh, we're, and I'm thinking that if we're not going to do our residential, then we might want to consider, even in the park area, the thought of converting a part of that to some kind of subsistence ag, where under that program, you can do both, especially if you're not going to build a house on the subsistence ag lot, which may be a quarter acre or up to 3 acres. But with that award, then you, especially if you already have a residential, what better thing to do than have adjacent and logistically a good location where you can grow food for yourself and your family, including your neighbors. So that's something that may be a little ways off. We maybe look for other lands that we could maybe do that. But again, we're looking for suggestions. We're looking for missed beneficiaries that we need to contact. So I ask you to really not only take care of yourself in a sense that, as we move forward, you got to figure out what category you're going to be in so you can avail as well as successfully move forward and get home ownership. So that's why we're getting a little bit more flexible in the approach to address your income situation. And I'm telling you right now, the idea is not to bypass anybody, but to build houses for you, including your ohana. Then there's also the idea that maybe we build an adjacent, what we call an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, where you can rent it out to another, has to be a Hawaiian family, where you can get some rental income, as well as the idea of the subsistence ag. So it's, we're trying to get a little bit more innovative, but more responsive to the needs of our beneficiaries. But again, that really entails, your involvement, your expertise in whatever area you have, whether it's maybe you're a contractor that can help some of these other guys do the owner builder approach at a lot less expensive approach. Or maybe is it somebody that, they can familiar with gathering fish from the sea as well as growing. And we do have CTAR with the university, and we can bring them on board, especially if we're going to expand and get into ag production, where they can help you. They can identify the crops for your particular area that is most suitable based on the weather and conditions. So there's a lot of things that I think moving forward to make your community resilient. Obviously, you got to work together. Obviously, it may take bringing in consultants and can help you. And that's what the department is about. We're about bringing in and providing you with assistance. That's why that's why this program was created, to help our people become self-sufficient and independent and supportive of themselves and each other. So, I leave that with those words of, I guess a request really. But at this point, what I want to do is hear from you folks. We do have, and the commission is here, and you are on our internet, so other people can also hear your thoughts. But I would like to, if you want, to come up and, if you have any questions or just comments, now is the time. So we're going to open it up, and unless any of the other commissioners have any comments they want to make, or you're going to see if you.
For all of you folks, we appreciate your hospitality coming out. We know that it's not easy to show up and see a bunch of folks from your neighbor islands, but the business that we have for Lanai and the people who are waiting for homesteads, we come here to make sure that we answer your questions if you have them. And we come here to help as you would want us to help. So we thank you for your hospitality. We thank you for coming and listening, and more importantly, speaking with us. So mahalo.
Lawrence?
Yes, we're here like we're talking about helping youth people. So it's very, it's nice to see that we had awarded today to some of the families. I'd like to see more of that happen so we can do what we're supposed to be doing for you folks. So I ask you to pass the message on that we're looking for more people to get on the list and, come forward and get awarded a land. Thank you.
Shirley, you want to say? Mike? Mike, you want to say anything?
Uh, yeah, thanks, Chair. I just, sorry I couldn't make it, but would have liked to have been there, but appreciate everything you guys doing over there. Like some exciting day today. We'll catch up. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Now, you go walking out. You had me going. I thought you were coming up here. In fact, why don't you come up? Say a few words.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Hi, thank you for coming. My name is Georgette Woolsey. I'm in the first Hawaiian increment at the homestead here. My daughter is the first one. I'm the second lot. My son, I sected a lot as a proxy for my son in a second increment, waiting for my other son's paperwork to be finished as well. So hopefully he makes this connection too. I have a question on well, I actually have a few questions. The commercial property, any updates? On the transfer of the land?
Nancy, you got any updates on the commercial? You gotta speak in the mic.
What's that?
Mahalo for the question. The last update I got from Land Management Division was that the lots have been, subdivision with County of Maui's been completed, but they're waiting for recordation at the Bureau of Conveyances, and then we'll need to discuss title transfer from Pulama Lanai.
Yeah, let me also, I guess, give examples where the community kind of stepped up and initiated the development, commercial. So there's a couple that kind of stand out. One I was involved, the one in Nanakuli, where we did a Nanakuli Village Center. And so we not only did a rental housing project to alleviate overcrowdedness in Nanakuli, because it has over 1,000 homesteads, but we also worked with Kamehameha Schools, and they put in a Kalani Ho'okaha Cultural Learning Center. I think it was over $10 million, but they wanted a presence, educational facility for the community. So they stepped up. Similar in the front, what we did was, in order to generate money for the Homestead Association, we did a commercial center. We did a CVS Longs. We did a Starbucks, Taco Bell, along with also a medical clinic, a Fresenius clinic, including Waianae Comp satellite clinic. So there was a very active involvement of the Nanakuli Homestead Association to create the center, which had a variety of things besides commercial income production. Similarly, in what do you call it, Kapolei, the Community Development Corporation, which was made up of, I think, 4 different homestead associations, they developed the Ho'omaka Market Center, which again, it has a resource center along with a car wash, as well as a 7-Eleven, a gas station, and a few other things. And so, and then we also have the one in progress in Waianae, Mike Hodson's group. They're doing a similar to the Nanakuli development. That one, they have a crematorium with a chapel. They have a driving range. They have a medical clinic that's community-based. They just have a variety of things. I think they're also going to do a kupuna housing there. But see, these were all kind of initiated by the various homestead communities with assistance from various people like myself. I was involved in the Nanakuli one, so it's me and a couple of developers who went in and we helped that group put that together. But we do have some lands that are being transferred. This does offer an opportunity for this community to take the initiative and put something together that you guys want that suits what your needs are, whether it's an educational facility, whether it's a kapuna housing, whether it's a little small commercial center to generate revenue. It's wide open. It's a wide open book that get creative, learn from these other entities that were created. You can take a look at them on our website, as well as they also have some of their own websites that you can take a look at. I'd be more than happy to talk to you if you would like to do something like that. I mean, that's before I took this job. That's what I did, as well as we're doing a lot of kupuna housing in some of the different communities. So, anyway, just to let you know, that's going to be available.
I have a question on that. So you said the kupuna housing, so they have to be Hawaiian to live in that kupuna housing?
Well, the ones we are doing in partnership with Lunalilo Homes, the preference is given to kupuna, but in the reading of the will, it's more the indigent. So you don't necessarily have to be kupuna, but it is an ethnic-based approach.
Yeah, that's what I meant, Hawaiian, Hawaiian based service.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question I have. Is there a closing on this list for the leases on the second increment? Like,
No,
is there a
there's no-
deadline?
There's no deadline, but
Okay.
if you want to get your house built, there's a deadline. You got to come in pretty quick with the information. And, the timing is, as Kalani has mentioned, especially those that are participating in the LIHTC or the rent with option to purchase, we need to submit the application in February. So we have to have the number of participants. And that's where you need to submit your income information to show what your income is. And based on, there's a certain, you can't be over income qualified. Then once your income is established, you can be a participant in that program. Once you go through the workshop. And the workshop is really important because there's restrictions. You can't have certain people living. It's a household that is designated and all within a certain income. And then you also have the requirements of your income. You have to pre-qualify because you can't be over income. And then other things is you have to be willing to be subject to inspections, as well as follow these restrictions for 15 years. Even though you get the lease for the ground part, the financing part is real important, and you have to comply with it. And the benefit there is that a lot of the equity that's generated from the sale of the tax credits, including the reduction which uses your rent payments, so that the overall or net debt remaining on that thing is what you are dealing with regarding what you have to go out and get as a loan at the end of the 15-year period, which is significantly less than what you would have to qualify if you were to try and get it on your own. What's really nice about that particular approach is, your lower income, you couldn't qualify for a mortgage, but by going that way, you not only get in the house during that 15-year period and take the appreciate and experience the benefit of home ownership, but more importantly, at the end of the day, the cost of the house is going to be significantly a lot less. For example, we did this approach in Kapolei with 72 units about 16 years ago. And, there's 3, 4 bedroom homes in Kapolei, really nice houses. And so the 15 years expired. And then at that time, the people had to go in for $90,000 to $130,000 mortgage. And, this is a house that's worth maybe 500,000. So they got all the equity and benefit that was generated from the sale of the tax credits, that comes to them. So it's kind of a great, approach for a lot of people on our wait list. So, if you are one of those that can qualify, as long as you're willing to go along with this 15-year, conditions, decide to participate in that approach.
Okay, we had an incident, one of your leases that was given out, one of our friends, they lost the paperwork.
Mhm.
And the father was alive at that time, but he passed. Now they have to do the paperwork all over, but the daddy's gone. There's no successors.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Are they 50% Hawaiian?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so at least they can get in on that.
Yeah, but
Now,
they missed that, like, they could have been on the lot,
we lost the paperwork for the dad's
the
application?
successorship, yeah.
No.
And they were
oh,
all given leases on that side. This is for the first increment,
Right.
but the extra lots.
So
I mean,
what's the
he's
problem?
here right now.
They're getting a lease, right?
No, we didn't have to do it again. But they lost the opportunity to get the lease from the 17 lots.
Well, we got a lot of leases, so if they didn't get one
I
of
know,
those, they can
but
get
they
a
would
new-
like the first one.
Well, the first one is also not built, so it doesn't matter whether it's the first increment or the second increment. Have them get their lease or paperwork in, and they'll get a lease and they'll get a house.
Okay, so if, say, like the people that did the leases today,
Mhm.
if they lost that one, then they gotta start all over again.
That's okay. I mean, it's not like they're losing their place on the list. I mean, they'll get a homestead today.
Did lose the lot, lease, he did lose his line.
Resubmit it, we'll give them another lease. Okay,
Okay, well, I don't know. Okay, that's all I have.
okay, thank you.
you.
Thank you very much. Any other, okay, great. Got another one coming up. Wonderful.
Aloha.
Hello.
I'm Wendy Kopwicki, and Susu was talking about my dad's lease. So we've been waiting for 3 years to pass the lease from my dad to my brother, but he passed away.
And your brother is less than,
Yeah, he's right over here.
does he have 50%?
He's 25. When we did
So that's
the
the problem.
lease, yeah,
Yeah.
when
okay,
we did
now-
the lease, dad was alive, did the successor, but now the paperwork's gone.
Well, in that kind of situation where it's on us, I would say submit it and we'll rectify that because we do have extra lots, so we'll make
Right.
it right.
Oh, we want the one behind our house.
Behind you?
Yeah, will make sense because
And
that's
you
where
want
the
us to
family
pay for
lives,
it?
right?
No.
And that was the lot that, the lease that my dad had.
Yeah.
So you
okay.
I already have the paperwork lease.
We can take a look
It's
at it.
just
Has that been
transfer.
re-awarded to somebody else? Because we're not
No,
gonna
I
kick
don't
them
know.
out. So if it hasn't, then we'll try to correct that situation. So if you hang on and after this, we'll.
Yeah, I
sit
just
down and talk.
don't want to wait another,
No,
3 years.
like I said, we're starting to build, so now's the time to get it.
Okay.
And we'll fix that. If we screwed up, we'll fix it.
okay.
It's
And then I don't want to go off island either.
You like it here?
No, to go and work on all this stuff, right? Can we do it over here?
Well, which island are you talking about?
This island, but we don't want to go to Maui to work on it. I want to work on it here
Yeah.
with all the paperwork and calling back and forth. It's really hard.
Yeah, well, that's one of the nice things using our Salesforce approach. We can do a lot of things on the internet, but we'll figure it out. However we have to do it, we'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Wendy Kaopuiki.
Hey, I saw somebody else was going to stand up and come forward. Oh, in the back. Oh, please come up forward. There's no foolish questions. The only one foolish is the ones that aren't asked because you can't ever answer it. So ask all the questions you got. Good afternoon. Great.
Name is Winifred Basford. I am the president of DHHL on the island of Lanai.
Okay. Well,
You gotta use the microphone. Can I hear you? Can I hear you?
What is people?
Can I hear you online?
Okay. Wait, let me get over here.
yeah, grab a seat.
Oh, bueno, güey.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, my name is Winifred Vasquez. I was a president for DHHL for the island of Lanai. We had altogether 70 occupants, okay, members. They sign up the papers, everything. But the thing is that before you can do anything, please check the lots. The lot is dirty with broken cars, machine, and who's going to remove it? When the person will choose that lot, who's going to pay for it? The thing is that they just dump them and just leave them like that. They don't go and take away with it. Because why? They ain't got time for do that kind of stuff. But they know how to do them. The thing is that people nowadays, they get moloa.
Mhm.
In Hawaiian, it says lazy. They do something, but then they don't take care of the problem. The thing is that I talking because why? I went apply, I had a house, the lot. They start taking away all the opala. Okay. Before this thing came up about the lot, my friend, Channel 2 News, she came with her friend and the man with the recording, Cheryl Tuberville, Channel 2 News. She took the pictures of the land. Was nice. Then, okay, everybody came. They got the lunch, they got the land, they got the money ready to build. But some people don't understand. Please do not leave your junk on the lot that is not belong to you. I'm telling plain and simple. The thing is that the more the po is brain. I hate to say it's dumb. You can quote me that because nowadays when you see people doing this kind of stuff, you go there, you put, why are you doing this? Oh, because no, you take them down to the dump. The dump open from Tuesday to Saturday. You take them down there. Don't leave it inside somebody else's place that does not belong to you. And they do it. They pour bakiki the pour. You know what that means? Stink head, stink brain. I hate to say this guy is not good. I'm speaking being a half Hawaiian. My genealogy comes from Hawaiian, and I know how it sees that. But when I come here, it's a different story. Come on, people, stop doing your stuff. If you want to take it, take them down to the dump. Why don't they do this kind of stuff? Do I have to go and follow them every time when they go down with the big junk? Trucks, cars, machinery, all on the lot that does not belong to them. Please take care of that problem. Because, you know, if somebody wants that lot, who's going to remove it? Or here. But they can do other kind of stuff. They can spend money for something else, but they can spend money for taking that thing down to the dump. Sometimes, you know, when I go to meetings there, I tell it like it is. If you don't want it, close the paper out. And when you go home, look out. The man watching. He's watching you guys what you folks doing. And when you do something, look out. When you come back for the third time, everything will be all wiped out. If you believe in the Lord, He can do miracles. But that's all I have to say. Please take care. If you can't do that, I always go and take a spin down there. And I see them, the family there, they're laughing, they're having fun in their own area. They're having parties, fine, okay. But don't bring something else over there that does not belong to them. That's all I can say. And thank you very much for listening to me.
No, appreciate you. Thank you very much. That's very
Mahalo
nice.
ke aku to you and your officers.
Right on. Thank you. Mahalo.
Well, mahalo again, and you have a good time going back home.
Thank you.
Go release the brain.
Okay. Okay, any more, questions or comments or? Oh, we got one.
Aloha mai kako.
Aloha.
My name is Nani Watanabe, and I'm here for my brother Derwin Kwan. I would like to first of all say a big mahalo to our kupuna that started this movement in getting Hawaiian homestead for Lanai. And when I was involved in it, when it first started, it was really history for Lanai as well. But mahalo for being here and really making this happen. Um, as I come here and I do events here, my hope is that we could do it in Hawaiian homes, you know, and that would be our cultural activities, education and training, which I'm looking forward to. Because for Lanai, we never had a sense of place, you know, and Hawaiian homes gives us that opportunity to have our own identity. So mahalo plenty for all you do, and it's kind of nervous being up here.
Should be on this side.
I know. It's really because I haven't been home for many years. A native of Lanai, and I really look back at my kupuna and how they were the foundation of our ohana, and for them, even for my tutus, to be able to see what has transpired today would have made them so happy to see that, you know, children and grandchildren is now being able to come back home and be on Lanai. And, you know, there's so many things that I've been involved with. One of the things is I'm a disability advocate and a specialist, and I've helped many families on Maui for accessibility. So many of the homes that was built 2 stories, so many of them, as they transition out of the hospital and then back into their home, their barriers was getting back upstairs. And so luckily, I guess the homes has a bedroom downstairs, so they were able to do accessible bathroom, and it was wheelchair accessible. So I'd like to see that, and I know for, even with the County of Maui, I sit on the commission, and part of it is making sure that the housing is accessible because of, I know that many of the, as you're aging in place, or not even aging, because many of the young people, they're not able to transfer into the bathroom or even going to upstairs. So I know some of the universal designs that I've seen that was very a one size fits all, but I think that would be something very important to take into consideration. Okay, mahalo.
Thank you very much. Any other, comments or, oh, we got one. Councilman.
Aloha, Chairman Watson and the board. Thank you all for joining us on Little Lanai. I'm just here to, happy to say, you know, I want to thank you guys and happy to say that this is moving forward and really looking forward to more homes being built for our Hawaiian folk. The county, as you know, put in that general excise tax money for the infrastructure, and I voted in support of that. And I just wanted to, you know, if there's a will, there's a way, and working together in partnership. And the idea that Ikaiko Hana and Doug Bigley guys are working with you guys on this parcel, I think is great. And I want to respect your time, so I'll be short. And thank you so much for coming out here. That's all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mahalo.
Of course.
Okay, any other, if not, we've come to, oh, one more. Okay, come on up.
Hi, my name is Iwani Davis. I know the blood quantum is 50%, the baseline to be able to acquire Hawaiian homes. Do you guys see, speaking for on behalf of everybody else that's less than Hawaiian, 50%? Do you guys see that as far as going forward, people that has less than 50 like getting it or not, or are you guys working on trying to get more Hawaiians less than 50%?
I think the focus has been, because we have so many to begin with, over 29,000, obviously they are the priority. So if we were to go in and say, okay, well, let's reduce the initial 50% requirement to 25%, I think there would be a firestorm. But we do recognize that, and we've actually taken action, I think in the 80s, where we reduced the successorship from 50 to 25%. There is a bill that was passed at the state level, reducing all the way for successors down to 1/32. That's at the U.S. Congress right now. There's a bill there that's being considered. So as far as reduction, it's more for successors rather than the initial awards. So
Okay.
that's kind of where we're at right now. Now, not to say 100 years from now, we're not gonna, obviously reduce that. So it's just a matter of timing. But right now, we got so many people on the wait list that are 50, and that's just those that are on the wait list. We have over close to 600 total. And I don't know what percentage, but I know 360,000 are on the mainland, so we're trying to get them back here. And so it's a pretty large number of 50%ers still. So,
Perfect, thank you.
sure. Okay, any other comments? If not, we've come to the end of our agenda. Mahalo for your participation. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the families who received awards this morning. We look forward to seeing our beneficiary community grow here on Lanai. And for those of you who were not here this morning, I want to introduce your new Maui office supervisor, Jermaine Molino. Jermaine? Stand up. You got to stand up. Okay. Yeah, she's really easy to talk to, so please, feel free to contact her, and she is very responsive. As well as our homestead assistant, Charisse Almeida, if you can stand up. All right. Your leases fall under the Maui District Office. Mahalo again to Councilman Gabe Johnson for joining us as well. And we are adjourned.